stereo VHF. And now Cilla Black returns for another week's Star Choice.
Hello and welcome to Star Choice. This is housewife, mother, part-time DJ Cilla Black, welcoming you all to another hour of my favourite record, starting off with an oldie but goodie by Fats Domino, and it's called Blueberry Hill. Oh, how I remember dancing in the Grafton in Liverpool to that one. Those were the days when you could dance together, cheek to cheek if you want to, when you weren't jiving, of course. That was Blueberry Hill and Fats Domino. Here's another song you could get close and dance together, cheek to cheek, if you're that way inclined. It's by Roberta Flack, and it's called Killing Me Softly. Would you believe that song was written about a fella? In fact, it was a fella in our business, the lovely Don McLean, who wrote all those gorgeous songs. Apparently, the two people who wrote this, Killing Me Softly, went to see him in concert and thought he was absolutely brilliant, so they wrote a song about him. And it was sung superbly there by Roberta Flack. And here's another song that was superbly written and performed by one of my favourite groups of the 60s, the Beatles. And Paul McCartney's singing this one almost on his own. It's the lovely song, Yesterday. Oh, it takes me back, that song. I recorded that one, you know. And Matt Monroe and, a lot of other people. And I used to sing that song on stage, and it nearly used to have me in tears. Mainly because I was thinking how Paul McCartney did and why I couldn't do it as good as him. Anyway, here's the song. Would you believe Kenny Everett? I must tell you about Kenny Everett. He used to be my, lifesaver, Kenny Everett, at 6 o'clock in the morning, because he used to play records for me, and he used to come on the radio, because I used to have to be giving, at that time, our Ben his 6 o'clock feed. And he used to say, here's one for Cilla at this time. At the morning, she was probably billowing the baby's bum. And here's one especially for her. Well, Kenny, if you're listening, I won't go into what you're doing, but do you like your Captain Kremen record? I do. I love it. That was Kenny Everett's Captain Kremen record. And Kenny, if you are listening, I know you do lots of times for the BBC, because you always tell me that's where you get all your best jokes from. That was just for you. Here's another song just for me. Can I play this next song just for me? Because this record was never ever a hit, and I don't know why it wasn't. It was by a lovely American singer, Lorraine Ellison. It's a gorgeous record, Stay With Me, Baby. There you are, what did I tell you? Isn't that a fabulous record? And that, I think, don't quote me, but I think it was done about, 8 or 10 years ago. And don't you think that stands up to today's standards? Oh, I think it's a marvellous record. Lorraine, you've got a fan with me forever. Oh, Sam Cooke. This man, Sam Cooke, is probably responsible for a lot of Rod Stewart's hits. But I think nobody sings this song better than Sam Cooke. And You Send Me. Well, that was Sam Cooke and You Send Me. He was really responsible for a lot of early 50s hits, like Twisting the Night Away, which was done, of course, by Rod Stewart. And Cupid. Remember that one? Cupid, draw back your bow. Oh, I could go on like this all morning. Here's another lovely song by the Eagles. Are you ready for this? It's called The Best of My Love. That was the Eagles there with a smashing song, wasn't it? Best of My Love. Here's another smashing song too. And this lady, this lovely lady, I remember the Beatles used to fancy her like mad. And they actually got her over on tour years ago to do a show with them, I think. Mary Wells is the name. And do you remember that marvellous, marvellous song, My Guy? That was Mary Wells and My Guy. You know, I was at the London Palladium at the time when that came out, and I remember a bloke, a friend of mine in the record business, who's now living in America, called Tony King, and he brought this song around. I was at Frankie Vaughan. Listen to the bill. I was at Frankie Vaughan, the Foremost. They're a blast from the past. Oh, Tommy Cooper. Oh, millions of people, millions of them. And anyway, my friend brought that record round, Mary Wells and My Guy, and that feel is just so early 60s. It's fantastic. It takes me back to, Chip Butty's at the Palladium, and I used to always be being told off because I was forever missing the finale because I was always playing Mary Wells and My Guy. Anyway, enough about that. What about this next record? You're going to love this. It's by Tony Hancock, one of the best comedy actors of all time. And people are wondering probably why I've picked a comedy record. Well, I'll tell you why. I always play comedy records on motorways because I don't think there's anything very funny driving to a gig on a motorway when you're stuck in traffic. And I suggest the next time you've got a long journey, instead of playing all that disco music that you soon get fed up with, why don't you shove on Tony Hancock and the Radio Ham? Well, that was the greatest of them all, Stevie Wonder, and another greatest of them all before that was the marvellous, marvellous Tony Hancock, and a little excerpt from the Radio Ham. Now, the next song, you've got to sit down for this. Get yourself comfortable because how can I put this? It's me again, and I'm singing about one of my favourite boyfriends, Alfie. Well, while you're still getting over that, why don't you get on to this? Ian Drury, what can I say about Ian Drury? He looks lovely. He's one of our greatest poets. And I think he is a poet. And he's also a great rock and roller as well. And I've got to play this one because my two kids said if I don't, they're going to hit me with their rhythm stick. It is, of course, Ian Drury's Hit Me With Your Rhythm Stick. Oh, I love that. I've been dancing all over the studio here. And I've got to calm myself down because I'm going to play a soothing song. A song that I've recorded, but not by me. I know you nearly all fainted then. It's not by me. It's by Bread, and Davy Gates is singing it. It's called Everything I Own. You know, a lot of people think that song by Bread, Everything I Own, was written for a girl. Silly, really, isn't it? I thought it was written for a girl and a boy, a romance, you know. But it wasn't, because Davy Gates wrote it about his dad. And if you've got a minute and you haven't got that record, go out and buy it and play it again and listen to the words, and you'll see it all fits in beautifully about a story about his dad. Oh, getting all sentimental now. I'm going to even get more and more sentimental because coming up now is Della Reese. And this woman, I tried to sing like her as well years and years ago because she's got this dirty big voice, you know. She doesn't need a microphone. In fact, if she sings, they have to put the microphone in the next room. She is absolutely marvellous. And singing on a live album, which you'll be able to really hear those lovely dulcet tones. Della Reese singing You Came a Long Way from St. Louis. Wasn't that great? Great favourite of mine, Della Reese. And what did I say about the voice? And what did I say about this next record? What did I say? By Ray Charles. That was Ray Charles then, years and years ago in Liverpool, in the cabin. Every group used to try and do that record by Ray Charles. Especially the Beatles used to finish on it. Everybody used to. It was a great closing number. That guitar is marvellous. And everybody used to try and scream like Ray Charles, and nobody could quite like him. Well, there you are. I could go on all day, and you're probably saying, yes, and you have done, Cilla. Because you see, it's the end of the show, and I'm having a ball here, but I've got to leave you. But you will join me next week, won't you? Same time, same place. Until then, ta-ra.
For the last hour, Cilla Black has been playing some of her favourite music, and Star Choice is produced by Stuart Hobday. Right now, it's time for VHF Listen.